Hello, everyone. This is Jorge Diaz, president and founder of Larry Jacob Internet Marketing, and now the managing director of the Family Law Marketing Guru. So I'm here with another episode of Defining Small Business Success, and today my guest is Mathilda Jarmy. And did I pronounce that right, Mathilda?
Yes, you did, George. Thank you very much.
Good, because I pronounced it incorrectly while we were talking before. It's not Jarmy, it's Jarmy.
Yes, thank you.
That's due to her rich Hungarian background, I found out.
You got it.
Cool. So Matilda and I, we met years back at a partner con because are you still an Infusionsoft partner or not?
Yes, I am.
So we're both Infusionsoft partners. So PartnerCon is kind of where we kind of gather. And then we reconnected through Aman Agai's group. He's out of Vancouver, and he's got this course building thing and masterminds. And so we reconnected there a couple months ago because she's in the process of advancing her optimization for small businesses offering. And I'm sure I'm not doing a lot of justice to that, but we're going to talk about how do you run your business efficiently, because those of us running small businesses have a million distractions, 600 priorities, and we're not always focused on the right ones. Is that kind of correct there, Mathilda?
Yeah, I think all of us have challenges with mastering our time and using time most efficiently. So that is one of the things that I focus on.
Cool. So so what got you into this? Because, here you come out of, more of a technical, I guess, space if you're in Infusionsoft. So what led you to jump into this as a time mastery mentor?
So actually, a couple of things have gotten me into it. So one is, as a parent, I always wanted to be in a position where I would put my family first and kind of weave work around that as much as possible, which is hard to do in a corporate setting. So I went off and opened my own organization, and I found that juggling work and family life is a challenge for all of us.
Sure.
And in the process of doing that, and just sometimes feeling torn between where do I spend my time, I started developing my own system of how do I prioritize things so that I live a no regrets life.
There you go.
And that prioritization changes sometimes month to month. It definitely changes as the kids get older, but it's always focused around how do I address the most important things first. And sometimes it's family first, and sometimes it's work first, but you do it in a way that works for you personally. So it's a system that's come out of me wanting to have it all, have the family, have a career I enjoy, and it just developed into a system that was really designed for me initially, and then I started teaching it to my private clients, and they started having great success with it. So now I've decided to offer it as a group course.
Cool. So, and I'm hearing in the back of my mind, this reminded me of, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Start with the end in mind. As a matter of fact, you said that overtly. So it's not like you're inventing something that hasn't been done before.
No, all the elements that I teach, I'm sure you can find somewhere on the internet. So I haven't invented like the newest, greatest way to do this. Where I have kind of found a workable solution is the way I combine all of these different elements that I've studied with various people, and how I just created my own, I guess, proprietary prioritization method.
Cool.
So it's the whole process that I go through when I decide if this distraction is something I'm going to focus on, or is it taking me off course? So it's really a combination of a lot of different schools of thought that have come together in a system that I find is very workable.
So we'll tell you what, if you named it something like the Jarmy method, then it would be yours, right?
I don't think anyone would know what that is. So it's actually called Ultimate Time Mastery.
Okay, I can see what that is.
Yeah, so that makes a little more sense. Once I'm well known for it, I may name something else the Jarmy method, but
There you
Not
go.
right now. Not this time.
There you go. I don't know any
So
other Yarmies. So
there you go.
okay, so I'm a small business owner and I'm kind of struggling because, I guess I've got the squirrel, that sort of issue. Highly distracted. I've got 600 things that I started, and maybe one of them, if I'm lucky, got finished. I'm guessing that would be kind of your, the dilemma that you're addressing, if I'm hearing you right.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we address is how do you get all of those hundreds of things that are in your head organized in a way that you know exactly what you need to work on this year, this month, this quarter, and use that essentially as like a distraction shield. And as distractions come in, you need to look at your plan and go, is this new thing that's coming into my view, is it something that's going to move me forward this year or next year, or is it something that's going to pull me off course towards something that is really not the right thing right now?
Gotcha. And I can really relate because this is the first show that I've actually announced as, I'm the founder of Larry Jacob, and then I'm the managing partner now for Family Law Marketing Guru. So I've actually got, it's one business, but I've got a new practice launching, and it's kind of like, okay, I got to keep that one running. And now I've got to launch this one. I've got to make sure that my priorities are set. So, we don't have customer sat issues on the traditional side, on the established business, but then I don't starve out this new practice because, boy, we put so much effort into it. The last thing I'd want to do is to have it not work.
Yeah. Congratulations on the launch. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And it's almost like, okay, we launched it. Now I've got to really get it, thriving. So it's all.
Yeah, it's not the finish line; it's the starting line.
Yeah. No, and then I've got people coming in and going, "Oh, LinkedIn is the perfect place to promote that." And then I've got someone else going, "Hey, we can do some, appointment setting campaigns." And then you've got, there's a million ways I'm sure I could do it, and I've got to figure out the one that's going to be, keeping me on track without the
Exactly. Yeah. You have to stay centered in what you need to do, regardless of what everyone else is offering. And it's very easy to get pulled off course and go, well, maybe this will help, or maybe something else will help. So, yeah, we've got a system that kind of helps you through those kinds of situations.
Okay. So I'm sure if I'm like a small business owner and I'm listening to this, it's kind of like, okay, so why Matilda? What is it about her? I mean, like, what's the first thing that I would encounter if I start working with you?
The first thing you would encounter is I want to know about your goals. I want to know why you're in business. I want to know what are the most important things in your life so that I can help you craft either your time management system or your business process that works for you so that you can achieve what you've decided is important.
Gotcha.
So I'm not there to sell one system and say this is a one size fits all. It's a tool that you use to create the kind of schedule and the kind of life that you want.
Cool. Now, do you become like my coach, where you're kind of like holding me accountable? How does that fit into all this?
So during the course, it's I like the word mentorship a little bit more than coach. To me, that implies more guidance and help with things like implementation. I mean, I don't like to just teach topics and then go, okay, you have your information, course is done. I'm very much into helping you implement the tools that you've learned. So during the course itself, there's opportunities for support within the private Facebook group that we're going to set up for people who are in this first charter program. So it's the first time it's being taught. So the charter members will be the ones starting this Facebook group where you can get support from me and from other members, within the program.
Sure.
There's also going to be email access and, actual implementation sessions on, we've got a 10-week course. So half of it is going to be implementation of either the worksheets that we're sending out or actual tools that I'm teaching people how to use.
Cool. And then, I mean, what sort of tools are you encouraging people to use for this?
So I'm going to give examples of some of the things that I use. So one thing that was very important to me when I decided to package this as a group offer is to make sure that the methodology itself was tool agnostic. So what I mean by that is if you're someone who's just very attached to a day planner and you don't want to start putting stuff in any kind of online tracking tool and you want to stay paper-based, that's awesome. I'm not going to ask you to switch. And this methodology works whether or not you're paper-based or you're into post-it notes on your whiteboard or you're into, you know, some app that works on your phone. There you go.
Yeah,
So
I'm addicted to this sucker and Asana.
So I'm glad you mentioned Asana. One of my other, I guess, beliefs or the way I mentor my clients is decide what kinds of things you want to track in any kind of software package, you know, whether it's task management or project management or whatever. Then find a tool that not only meets those requirements, but supports the way you think.
Gotcha.
And a lot of people go out and say, well, this is the latest tool and that is the latest tool and all the cool kids use like this, that, or the other. I'm like, no, that's not the most effective way to select technology, because if you don't like the way it's either displayed or it doesn't support the way you think, you're never going to use it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I picked Asana for our team. It's either 3 or 4 years ago. We've been using it a while, but I tried Basecamp, and then I tried Rike. I tried another one, and then like recently, we have a client that uses Trello, and another one that uses, I think it was
Teamwork. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'm kind of tempted to, should I try something different? It's kind of like, it works.
It worked.
Rike didn't work for me. I can't remember why. Basecamp did not work for sure because their phone app at the time was just really archaic. It didn't support anything. And I'm kind of going, you know, for what I need for tracking my own to-do list and for managing my team. So everybody's got their queue. Some of the team members use it actually to manage their own personal stuff versus just stuff. I mean, I'm not going to get into their personal stuff. And it works for us. So I'm thinking, okay, switching is almost like a squirrel. There, you know, I've got to change just because I got to change it. It's working, so let's not mess with it too much.
Yeah, I mean, and that's absolutely right. And in my opinion, you're doing it the right way, because unless some new technology comes along that has a feature that your business needs that your current software doesn't have, then to me, that's a good reason to at least take a look at it. But if it's working and everyone's into it and everyone's bought into it, it doesn't matter what the next business is using. What matters is that you guys are effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when I pick the task management tool that I use, I picked something that works on the phone because I am constantly attached to my phone. And you know, the interface had to work. So I went through a number of different things and just landed with one that was like, it works on the phone. I understand it. I like the way it looks. It has every functionality I need. And there we go.
All right. And you're stuck with it, you know? So it's kind of like if you're looking at this stupid thing every day,
yeah,
even the way it looks ought to be at least to your liking. If it's kind of like, well, everything's okay, except it looks really ugly. It's kind of like, well, that can impact the way you work with it.
Right. The flow has to be laid out so that it is helping you, because if that's not, you know, if it's not something that you want to be looking at every day, you're not going to use it. So then that's really kind of counterproductive to buy something that you're not going to use. It's not going to help you.
Yeah. And you say buy it. I don't think I've paid for a task management tool yet because they all have like enough features underneath some level. Mm-hmm. And so I'm using the Asana free one because it works. Trello, when we've used it with clients because they wanted it, I think the client that we use it with most is using the free version. So most of these tools are actually free so you can test drive them. And if you do need some of the upgraded features for whatever reason, they're very reasonably priced usually.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Cool.
So, but that's one small piece of it. So we also get into the mindset of how you make decisions about things and what you believe about things, because if you come into a course like Time Mastery and you are of the belief that you will never have enough time and you will not learn how to do this, well, that's gonna work against you.
Okay.
So that's the first thing we address is how
trying to get past the brain farts that hold people back. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to try to address those up front.
You should trademark that, I guess, right?
Get past the brain farts. Yeah, that might be interesting.
No, but it's limiting beliefs, right?
Yes, it's limiting beliefs. So we address that up front, and then we're going to periodically weave that in as we go through.
Cool. So you're going to be starting up, I think, the 23rd, I think you told me?
Yes, August 23rd, 1:00 p.m. Eastern.
Cool. And then, so you still have openings in that session, right?
Yeah, we do.
Cool. So why don't you just tell people how they, if they were interested in, how do they reach you?
So the best way to reach me is by email. So that's Matilda, Matilda, at optimizeyourtime.com.
Cool. That should be pretty easy to spell. We'll make sure that when I publish this, that we'll include that in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
And then we'll also get the link maybe to your website or something if people want to learn more about this.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to talk to me. And I know this was kind of helpful. I've got to focus on the millions of things I got and make sure that I'm not like all over the place. So I get you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. It was great chatting with you.
Okay. Well, hey, you have a good one.
Thanks. You too.